living in tomorrow is the root of exhaustion, Buddhist healing teachings. There is a kind of exhaustion that does not come from doing too much, but from carrying too much inside the mind. Not because your body has been overworked, but because your mind has never truly rested. You wake up in the morning, yet your mind has already rushed hours, days, even months ahead into the future. Before you finish a single sip of water, a flood of questions has already appeared in your head. What if things don't go as planned? What if I fail? What if others judge me? What if I'm not good enough? And so, even before anything has actually happened, you have already begun to suffer from it. This is where anxiety is born. 1. The root of anxiety, when the mind lives in the future. Buddhism does not see anxiety as an enemy to be destroyed, but as a sign. A sign that your mind has left the only place that is real, the present moment. Most of what exhausts human beings is not reality itself, but imagined scenarios. Have you ever replayed in your head a conversation that never happened, over and over again, until your heart raced and your chest tightened? Have you ever lost sleep over a situation that might happen, but in the end never did? Have you ever braced yourself for a disaster, only to wake up the next morning and realize that everything passed far more gently than you feared? The mind, when left unrecognized, becomes a factory that manufactures suffering. The Buddha called this phenomenon papanka, the proliferation and exaggeration of thought. One worry gives birth to 10 more. One fear creates hundreds of scenarios. And before you know it, you are no longer living in reality, but inside a story your own mind is telling you. That story often carries the same message. Everything will go wrong. I am not good enough. Danger is waiting ahead. The story feels real, because your body reacts as if it is real. But the truth is, it has never happened. And most likely, it never will. 2. The illusion that worry equals care. Why do human beings torture themselves this way? Because somewhere along the path of growing up, we learned a false belief that worrying means being responsible, that imagining the worst will help us avoid it, that if we don't worry, don't prepare, don't anticipate, we are being careless with life. But Buddhism points out a very simple truth. Worry does not prevent suffering. It only makes you suffer earlier. If something difficult actually happens, you will suffer twice. Once in your imagination, once in reality. And if it never happens, you have wasted hours, days, even years, living inside a nightmare that was never real. This is the tragedy of mental time travel. You abandon the only moment that truly exists, in exchange for a future made of fog and illusion. 3. The present moment, the only place life is happening. This moment, this breath, this heartbeat, this life, does not demand that you be perfect, does not ask you to solve everything, does not require you to know what will happen next. It gently invites you with one simple request. Be here. Sunlight filtering through the window, the distant sounds of life moving on, the warmth of a cup of tea in your hands, the sensation of your feet touching the ground. This is the raw material of life. Yet we rush past all of it, thinking while eating, worrying while walking, calculating while breathing. And then we ask ourselves, why does life feel so empty? Not because life lacks meaning, but because we have never truly been present within it. 4. The illusion of control and the burden of perfection. Another route of anxiety is the belief that, if I control tightly enough, if I am perfect enough, I will be safe. But Buddhism teaches, control is an illusion, not because you are weak, but because the nature of life is impermanence. The weather changes. People change their minds. Circumstances shift. No matter how carefully you prepare, there will always be factors beyond your reach. When you build your sense of safety on the foundation that everything must go my way, You are building a house on sand. This is why perfectionism feels so heavy. It is not the desire for excellence, but fear. Fear of making mistakes. Fear of not being enough. Fear of rejection. Fear of chaos. So you revise what was already good enough. Apologize for things that never needed an apology. Rehearse hundreds of conversations in your head. Shrink yourself to fit into others' expectations. And eventually, you are no longer living. You are performing. 5. Letting go is not giving up. Buddhism does not teach indifference. It teaches flexibility. Like water. Water does not control the terrain. Water adapts. Water bends. And it is precisely this softness that allows water to wear down mountains. You can set intentions without clinging to outcomes. Make effort without demanding perfection. Care deeply without carrying the weight of the whole world. Letting go is an act of trust. Trust that you can meet whatever comes. Not because you have controlled it, but because you are strong enough to live with it. 6. The breath and the body, anchors of peace. Mind and body are not separate. What you worry about is stored in your shoulders, your jaw, your stomach, your chest. The body remembers on your behalf. Buddhism understood this thousands of years ago. The breath is the bridge between mind and body. When you breathe fast, shallow, and tense, the body receives the signal, danger. When you breathe slowly, deeply, with awareness, the body hears, safety. You do not need to defeat anxiety. You only need to breathe. One breath long enough for the body to believe everything is okay in this moment. Feet touching the ground. Back supported by the chair. The weight of the body being held. This is reality, not the story inside your head. 7. Releasing the need for approval. Another source of exhaustion comes from living as if my worth exists in other people's eyes. You edit your words before speaking. You replay conversations afterward. You ask yourself, what do they think of me? This is invisible labor, but profoundly draining. Buddhism teaches your worth is inherent. It does not increase when you are praised. It does not decrease when you are criticized. Most people are too busy with their own inner battles to notice you as much as you imagine. And even when they do judge, they see only a tiny fragment of who you are, filtered through their experiences, wounds, and limitations. Why would you give them the authority to define you? Inner strength begins when you stop renting the outside world to grade your value. 8. Gratitude, the doorway back to the present. The human mind naturally tends to look for what is wrong, look for what is missing, look for danger. But in the modern world, this creates a sense of scarcity in the midst of abundance. Gratitude is not the denial of pain. It is the expansion of perception. This is hard, and I am still breathing. I am anxious, and the sun is still shining. Each time you notice what is not wrong, you plant a seed of peace, and whichever seed you water, that seed will grow. 9. Final message: returning home. Anxiety lives in the future you try to control. Peace lives in the present you dare to accept. You do not need to master everything. You do not need to be perfect. You do not need to be understood by everyone. This breath is enough. This moment is enough. This human being you is enough. The Buddhist path is not about escaping life, but about returning to live it fully. And when anxiety returns, because it will know the way back. Back to the breath. Back to the body. Back to the present. Back to yourself.
Thank you for watching until the end of the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel to watch more interesting videos.